Hello. Welcome to what I believe is going to be a reading vlog. So I thought our evening was going to go a little bit differently than it did, but it was really fun. So today is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, and we weren't going to do anything. We were maybe going to get some takeout from a Mexican restaurant in town, and then I was like, you know what? I want a margarita. So let's just go. And we ended up going and sitting out on the patio because it was pretty nice. And then like a bunch of clouds rolled in. It started raining. They had to move everyone inside. And by this point, we'd had probably like half of our margaritas and chips and salsa. And we get inside and then like food takes forever. But like Jake and I are chilling. It's whatever. It's fine. And then our waiter is so nice. And then he brings a round of tequila shots. We're like, okay, thank you. He's like, sorry, this is, on the house. Apology for it taking so long. Like, thank you. And then he brings another round. And I do not do tequila unless it's a margarita. So bless Jake, he took the brunt of the shots. I did do like half of each one. Just, solidarity for the shots. And then we were like, oh my God, like, we need our food just to function. And the food was amazing. Food was absolutely, absolutely amazing. And then he brings another round. Oh my God. He brought us 6 tequila shots. 6. On top of the margaritas we had. And we had a lovely little conversation with him. And then he brought us margaritas to go. Jake and I were like, we can't go home. We can't drive. There's no way. So, because this particular Mexican restaurant is across the parking lot from the movie theater, we just walk across and decide to go see the 10:30 Thunderbolts, which was fun. Yeah. So, back to what I said about this being a reading vlog. We are currently reading Phantasma, which is so good. I will give more thoughts on it later. I'm obsessed. I'm absolutely obsessed with this. It had been on my radar for a while. It was gifted to me around Christmas, and then I just decided I needed something a little different. Because, obviously it's still, fantasy romance, but it's kind of different fantasy. It's there's kind of, magic, but it's, necromancers, demons, phantoms, devils. Very good. This man... Hi, Ragnar, sorry. This man... I hate myself. I can't even remember his name. Blackwell. That's what it is. Blackwell. I was thinking Sinclair, but that's different. And when he first gets described, obviously he's described as being really freaking attractive. Obviously. But he's described as having stark white hair and, green eyes. And my millennial brain went, Danny Phantom? Danny Phantom? So I only have this much left of it. And I could totally read that in a night. And honestly, I've read this, well into the the first night I really, dove into this, I stayed up till 4 a.m. reading it. Because I was just, sucked in. That good. I will not be doing that tonight. But I didn't get a chance to read any last night. I want to read some, but I feel like it's going to start getting to the point where, shit really starts going down, in a book towards the end. So I think I'll maybe read, a chapter or 2. Maybe. Happy reading to me. few chapters. Had a nice little, level of hell trial. A little bit of spice. And now we're going to bed. Okay, so it's the next night. I worked till midnight. Got home, had a little bit of food, watched the season finale of NCIS, and oh my god, what a finale. And now, because I've been looking forward to it all day, we are going to finish Phantasma. So excited. Honestly, I have a feeling this might rip my heart out, stomp on it, and then kick it. We shall see. I decided to make myself a little hot chocolate, and we've got a little, I don't even know if you can see that. I put a little ambiance music thing on the TV, and we're gonna get started. I'm so excited. Honestly, for the past week, this book has been my entire personality. It low-key has even, just based on some of the the style and the vibes, I may have entirely changed the look I'm going for a wedding we're attending, a friend's wedding in June. Not mad about it. Anywho, I don't know if I'll give you my thoughts on the overall book at the end of this, but I will definitely check in on having finished it. And then maybe I'll, think about it and then give a review on another date and time and place. We shall see. Oh my god. I have no words. The amount of times in those last however many pages that I went, what? Holy shit. That was fucking phenomenal. Phantasmic. And I was so right, because let me read this to you. So in the little acknowledgments section, the author basically says, to my agent, believing in the story of Mama, I pitched it to you, knowing exactly the vibe I meant when I said grown-up Danny Phantom meets gothic New Orleans. I was right. I was so on point. How am I supposed to cope? How am I supposed to move on? I cannot. It's 3 a.m. I need to go to sleep. How am I supposed to go to sleep when I'm just going to be thinking about the masterpiece that was Phantasma? Huh? Also, one last quick note. So I know that the second book in the series just came out, Enchantra. And I was waiting to read the synopsis until I finished this, because I was pretty sure they were interconnected standalones, but I wasn't entirely positive. I don't want to ruin anything. And they are, because the second one is about Ophelia's sister, Genevieve. She's the FMC in the second one. And I was thinking okay, I'll pick it up, I'll read that one, bada bing, bada boom. But even though it sounds really good and I've heard some excellent reviews, I think I'm going to wait to read it, maybe until more towards the end of the year or next year, because this just needs to live and ruminate in my brain and in my soul for a while. All right, that was my PS for the evening. Postscript, over and out. Now what? Also, what a good freaking movie. It's a childhood favorite. Still so excellent. Drew Barrymore is amazing in this. And I always loved the whole, like, little DaVinci aspect to it. Well, the hangover is hangovering. What do I do? I have no more Phantasma. I was.
Ooh.
I was.
Ooh. Good hit, good hit.
Wait, it's my turn.
I know, I'm just lining
No,
up my
you're
shot.
not.
I'm just lining up my shot. One shot. One opportunity.
Damn it. That's so close.
I want to play again.
Okay. Let's go backwards this time.
Sure. Tuning. That went in!
It did.
My turn?
Yep.
Oh.
That one did not. Oh! God damn it. No! It has come down to the wire, and I've unfortunately lost all 3 games at the very last second. Wee woo. But croquet is fun. Hello, people. Good morning. Ooh. If the eye patches weren't any indication, I had a terrible night's sleep. Just wasn't great. So we're here, we're doing it. It's been an indeterminate amount of time since the last time I picked up my camera. Remember when I was like, this could be a reading vlog? Well, it sort of was. And then it sort of wasn't. And now it might be again. So basically, why did I turn the camera on? I just wanted to say hi again. Check in. Tell you how I'm doing. Also, yes, LOL. I have these headphones in, and they're not even connected to anything. They were. And then I unplugged it, and then I just left them in my ears. Wee woo. Well, I just had the craziest thing happen. So, like, I get out of work a little early, and I'm on my way home, and I'm coming up to, like, a light, and I see something in the road. And I was like, oh, it kind of just looks like a box or a blob or something. But I slow down just in case, and I get up to it or closer to it, and I see it's a big turtle. And I was like, oh God, what do I do? Because I was like, it's not moving. Like, it's not like it's in process of, like, crossing the street, you know? So I, like, put my four-ways on. I get out of the car. I go and kind of, like, just nudge it in its back end with my foot to even see if it's alive, because I don't know. And It is, because it like moves its head, you know, into its shell. And I'm like, okay, now what? I was like, holy shit, what do I do? I was like, I cannot, in good conscience, leave this turtle here. It will get smushed and I will cry. And I would feel so bad. And I was like, but how do I move it? And so I'm just like standing in the middle of the road, like looking at the turtle. And I was like, okay, I need to pick it up and move it. But I don't want to touch it because, like, who knows? I don't know. And like, it's all muddy, so maybe it came from like near a creek or something. And I was just like, I don't want to touch it with my bare hands. That seems like a bad idea. Because also, I don't know what kind of turtle this is. It had big claws on its toes. Toes? Does it have toes? I don't know. Is it a snapping turtle? I don't know. So I have this blanket I keep in the back of my car for watching Jake's hockey games. So I take it and I grab, like, have it so that I can basically pick the turtle up in the blanket, shuttle it across the road, and set it down in the grass, like facing away from the road. So I do that and I'm like, okay, but I needed to save the turtle. And then like a line of people is lining up behind me and they could have gone around, but they're probably like, buh. And so I'm like waving them on and a lady rolls down her window. She's like, everything okay? And I was like, yeah, I was just moving a turtle, saving him from the road. And she's like, oh, I've done that before. Good job. I was like, thanks. That was so stressful. I'm so stressed. Ah! Okay, I saved a turtle. Now I'm gonna relax, I guess. Okay, switching cameras for a second. My plan for the evening, besides watching a few episodes of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, because season 2 is out, my plan is to read. To just relax, chill with Ragnar, and read. Because, so my current read, The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. So this is just the dust jacket because I have it off the book right now. But this is the lovely foiled cover of the hardback. This is one of my favorite series of all time. Yes, it's YA, but like, and I know a lot of people hate on this series because of the way the MMC Carden is. But I love this. I love this series. It is one of my favorites. And it's been a long time since I read it. And honestly, you saw me finish Phantasma, which was brilliant, amazing, loved it. And then I read, or mostly listened to, the Beekeeper of Aleppo, which was for book club, and it was fine. Syrian refugees, them getting to the UK, very important story, but like just not what I was in the mood for, I guess. Like it was almost too depressing for like the mindset I was in. And I was like, okay, I finished it kind of early for when book club is. I now have a solid chunk of time until I need to read the next book club book. I need something. And so the catalyst for me starting this again, I won't lie to you, TikTok edits. I all of a sudden started getting a bunch of Cruel Prince TikTok edits. And I was like, you know what? Let's give this a reread. So I am just under halfway. Cause like for fantasy, these are fairly small in my opinion. Some things are so beefy anymore. So part of this was on like my TBR for 2025 regardless, because for Christmas, I got the Stolen Heir duology from my mom, and I had read the first one, but I never read the second one. And that is in this same like world, but like years later. Basically, I was like, I want to reread all 3 of these and then reread the first one and then read for the first time the second one in the Stolen Heir and like have that all be a thing. And I'm having such a good time. So with this book, like this series in general, obviously I remember like, do I even remember main plot points? I remember some of the main plot points. But, like, a lot has happened in this first half that I'm like, oh yeah, I vaguely remember that, but, like, I didn't remember timeline or, like, how exactly it happened, or it's like, oh, I remember this bit, but it hasn't happened yet. I thought it had. I digress. I am happy to be reading this, and that is what I'm gonna do for the rest of the night. Update. I have not cracked the spine on my book. But it's not my fault. I blame the Mormons. And by that I mean, I can't stop watching this show. I loved season 1. I was so excited for season 2. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. These ladies be crazy, but I love it. I eat it up. And I've watched at least 3 episodes. And I have not read a single word. Even though I really, 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 really wanted to read my book. But you know, E and move on. And by move on, I mean I'm literally about to start episode 5. So, and after that, I desperately need to go to bed and get some actually good sleep. Because I'm struggling. Boop.
It's not personal.
Coming at you live from Sunday, May 18th. Was a good day. Jake and I did yard work all day. Got the yard in tip-top shape. Then we treated ourselves to some Dairy Queen. The new, I don't know if it's new. I've only had it twice. The mixing bowl mashup blizzard. Chef's kiss. And then we showered our disgusting bodies and met some friends for bowling, which was really fun. We were just being crazy and all over the place, and it was a really good time. And they also had an arcade, and afterwards, some of us did some like air hockey and Fast and Furious, and it was fun. And now we are home and cozy. I'm going to watch one episode, just one episode of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And Jake is going to hold me to that. But I did caveat it with, I will only start the next episode if it ends on a major cliffhanger, but I will only watch into next episode I will only watch into the next episode until that cliffhanger is resolved, and then I will be done. And then I'm going to read my book and go to bed, and that's how we're going to end our week.